Hi, I'm Pastor David, and like I so often do in these videos, I want to start today with a question. That question is, have you ever been somewhere where it got so dark you couldn't even really see your hand in front of your face? And what was that like? Did you feel comfortable moving around, or did you feel like you needed to stay right where you were and not risk moving and ending up injuring yourself because you didn't know where you were or where you were going because it was so dark? I remember a couple of times where I was in such a dark place that I felt that uncomfortable. I didn't want to stay in one place. I didn't want to move, rather. I wanted to stay in one place. I didn't want to take a step because I was afraid that I could make a bad step. That's the situation a lot of times in our lives when we come to places where we're just confused and we don't know what to do. We start to feel like we're in the dark. One of those times for me, as far as actually being in a physically dark place, was in a cave in Wyoming. I decided to go into Wind Cave, and they took us down into the cave and turned off all the lights. And as soon as all the lights went out, you couldn't see anything. You could almost really feel the darkness. It was so thick. And nobody wanted to move, because you knew the minute you tried to move, you're probably going to bump into someone or something or make a poor step and maybe even injure yourself. So you stayed where you were. Jesus talks a lot about light and darkness. He talks about being the light. He talks about us being a light. He talks about light all the time. Light versus darkness. And the comparison that is made there is one that we can identify with very easily. And one of the places that he talks about that is in John chapter 12. Jesus is in the last week or so of his life in John chapter 12. It's 6 days before Passover, somewhere within 6 to probably 4 or 5 days, depending on the amount of time that goes by inside of chapter 12 of John. And he talks about, in John chapter 12, really being the light. And so I want to take a look at John chapter 12, verse 35. It says this: "So Jesus said to them," he's talking to people that are asking him questions. He's going through discourses. People are asking him questions. And so he's responding to some questions for them about who the Son of Man is. And he says this: "The light is among you for a little while longer. Walk while you have the light, lest the darkness overtake you. The one who walks in the darkness does not know where he is going." Really, in a physical sense, it's just reality. If it's dark and you can't see anything, you really don't know where you're going. If you try to move around, you end up oftentimes getting hurt. Even in your own house, you have a mental map of your own home, and yet when you move around in the darkness, you have a tendency to step on maybe some Legos that your kids didn't put away, or to stub your toe because you accidentally moved a little too far to the left and you didn't realize it because it's so dark you can't really see where you're going. It's, in a physical sense, it's very, very true. But in our lives, in the choices that we make on a day-to-day basis, when situations are presented to us and we're making choices that will determine the course of our life and we're not really sure what to do, a lot of times we end up in the same situation. Maybe we stub our toe in life. We make a poor decision and it ends up affecting us not just in the moment, but going down the road. We end up with scars and with emotional, physical, spiritual scars because we tried to move around. We didn't have the light to see where we were going. And really, I think what Jesus is trying to say is that in all of those decisions, what we need to do is put him right in the middle of it, because he's the light. He's the one that lights up our path, that directs our way and prevents us from stubbing our toe, so to speak, from making poor decisions. We need to put him right in the middle of it all. And what that may take is time of silence and contemplation, allowing God to speak when all the noise and all of the distraction is all around us all the time. Taking time out to stop, to put ourselves in a quiet place and just to sit in silence, putting Jesus in the middle of the situation can make all the difference in the world, because he'll light the path for us. He will make light in a dark place so that we can see where we're going. We can see the choice we need to make. We can move forward with confidence, knowing that He is directing our steps. Jesus is the way. He is the truth. He is the life, and He is the light that directs our way. So my encouragement to you today is, if you're facing a difficult situation, if you're facing some situations where you're not really sure which choices to make, take time today to put Jesus right in the center. Let Him illuminate the situation, just by who He is, and the directions and the wisdom that He provides in those quiet, silent times. Let Him speak to you and direct your path. Take the time to be still and let Him speak. Hopefully this is helpful to you. I hope you have a great day. I hope that if this is not the first time you've watched these videos, that you've already subscribed. If not, and you're finding them helpful, go ahead, give this video a thumbs up, and subscribe to the channel. Pass these on. Share the links. If you find somebody in your life that you know could benefit from some of these things, be encouraged by them, go ahead and share it with somebody. As always, I'm Pastor David, and I'm out.